Bonjour and welcome to Inside the LPGA podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in, whether you are watching or listening. I don't really care. I'm just glad you are here. My name is Hope Barnett. I'm a host and reporter for the LPGA Tour, and I am joined, as always, by the one and only Emma Talley and the one and only Adam Stanley. Guys, I am in France. That's why I obviously started it with bonjour, but what is going on? Where are you guys in the world? Adam, where are you right now? Are you home?
Yeah, I'm finally home.
Okay,
I'm going to
good.
talk more about it in my Slay of the Week, but I was just on the northern eastern tip of the province of Nova Scotia last week, playing the number 1 ranked golf course in Canada, eating a lot as well. So more details to come in a little bit of time, but I am home. I'm home for this week. Got another trip planned for next week, but we're rocking and rolling. It's the summertime, so it goes. Emma, what's happening with you?
I saw a hole-in-one today, y'all. I was at a Surf Pro
Nice.
outing today from one of my sponsors. He said he wasn't a very good golfer, and it was hilarious because he hit the shot and then turned around to look at me to say something. And I said, I think that has a good chance of going in. And it goes in, and I run up to him as he's telling me, every time you're around, I hit a good shot. I chest bump him, and he goes, what happened? I said, it just went in the hole. So that was pretty
That's
sick. And it was
awesome.
super fun. And that was his first hole one. So, his name's Tim Grant. So, Tim Grant, shout out to you, brother.
Go Tim. Shout out on Inside the LPGA podcast. You got to send
That's
this
right.
to him after.
Oh, yeah.
Go Tim.
I already told him. I said, y'all better be watching my podcast.
That's awesome. Yeah, Adam, you looked like you were living your best life. I was extremely jealous. I was in New York City, which was very fun, but not like relaxing. It was like a crazy busy trip, but a lot of fun. But let's get to the episode, guys. We are all three together virtually, of course, but like I mentioned, I am in France here for the Amundi Evian Championship. It has been a very busy year so far. It's going to be a great episode. We're going to talk about the 4th major of the year, and we are also going to catch up with Ally Ewing. She has been absolutely crushing it this year, which we will get into later, and especially in the interview. But Emma, I know you are really good friends with her, so I wanted you to do the honors and introduce your friend.
Well, I would love to. Ally Ewing, I'll call her Ally Mack. Her maiden name was McDonald, but we were Curtis Cup captains. We played against each other in college, and then we became really good friends through Symetra Tour at the time. Now it's called Epson Tour, and obviously now she's one of my best friends on the LPGA Tour. And she has been playing some great golf lately. Her last 4 finishes, she finished at Dow, she finished 2nd, KPMG tied for 5th, Meyer 4th, U.S. Open tied for 3rd. She is playing so good. She has the chance to be on her 4th Solheim Cup this year in 2019, I believe. She was an alternate for the Solheim Cup, and she ended up getting to play, which was so sick. I remember texting her like, let's go! And I just wonder if that boosted her confidence. She's also a volunteer assistant at Mississippi State, where she was a baller. Actually, she played Mississippi State. Her husband is now the head coach there. She is actually a type 1 diabetic, which also is another story. And she's just like the most wonderful person, and she's like a backup dancer. She can dance her way through any place, anytime, beat anybody at a dance competition. So I'm just saying
She can
we might
dance.
might get to see a move or two on this interview. Let me take a little sip of water. Cheers to that, Ally. Here she is, Ally Ewing.
Y'all, please welcome Ally Ewing to the LPGA podcast. Ally, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're going to fellowship after this, so I don't want to keep you from Jesus, so we'll make this quick, but we kind of got to catch up with you because you've been putting on a clinic lately. Let's just start with that. What has been going on with you? Let me just really quick tell the people your most recent 4 finishes: T3, 4th, T5, and runner-up. So yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, it's been a good run the last month or so. That that finish at the U.S. Open was, I think, kind of unexpected. Like going into Sunday, I didn't necessarily feel like I had a chance to win. I was just trying to go play a good round, and lo and behold, I got to hole 16 and kind of realized where I was on the leaderboard. So it's been a really solid, good month of golf. It's been fun just to kind of see. It's hard. Golf is hard because when one part of your game is clicking, another part, could not be. So just things kind of coming together at the right time, and just enjoying my time on the golf course, and just playing with a lot of gratitude. You get to go to some really cool places, and just see places of the world that there's no chance I would end up, like here in Evian. There's no chance I would have ended up here any other way. So just really, it's been a fun month for sure.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we were talking about it in the actual podcast, and we were saying Evian is just one of those tournaments you can't really compare it to anything else. It's just totally different.
Exactly.
But you've had a very successful career. You've won 3 times. You've played in 3 Solheim Cups. When you reflect back on all of that, I think sometimes you guys forget to do that because it's always just going, going, going. What are some of your most proud moments?
Most proud, Solheim's always going to be up there. I take, it's a huge, privilege and honor to be able to represent your country and to wear, the United States flag on anything. So that's always going to be, the highest point probably of my career. And then, the three wins certainly stick out on, really important dates too. I think that's also, part of the 3 wins that makes it really cool. I won on my birthday. My very first one was on my birthday. Second was on my husband and I's first anniversary. And the third, we talk about the United States and representing it. It was on September 11th, which, is a big date in our history. So it's kind of, those 3 dates are, really big dates to me, and also my wins.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Okay, my turn. Okay, Ally, so I'm going to have a little more fun because you're one of my best friends on tour. I'm assuming I'm like your bestie since Epson Tour. We did all the things together. I know your mom's in town this week with you at Evian, and she's the OG caddy for you. Is she going to caddy for you at least one hole during the practice round this week?
I don't think she will. However, she is a trooper, and she walks every single hole, even in the practice round. So she likes to go out and get her steps in. There's great ice cream downtown. So you get your steps in this week, go get some ice cream after dinner. She's probably not going to carry any holes, but I'm just happy to have her here this week.
Yeah. You also told me a couple days ago that you've been playing some church league softball. 2 questions in this. I feel like you're a person that has been able to really balance life and golf really, really well. And my first question is, how do you do that? Is it things like this when you go home, you feel normal, quote unquote? And what position do you play? Did you guys win? And how do I get into a church league softball league? I want to do that.
Well, I told you and Patrick to just go ahead and move to Starkville, Mississippi, and you can just join us. I would say, first of all, with church league softball, I'm only there for like 2, maybe 3 games. And I tell them to put me where hopefully the fewest balls are hit, which ends up being right field. So church league, you get 4 outfielders instead of like softball, real baseball, you only get 3. Church league, you get 4. But it's a lot of fun. Actually had a ball hit to me, and I was freaking out. And, the people in the outfield, they're like trying to help you because it's kind of hard to judge like how far a ball is going to carry with the spin that's put on it. Yeah. And all of a sudden I just hear back, and I just start going backwards, and I reach up and I catch it. So that was my proud moment. And I got a few hits. I was so sore. It was ridiculous. It was like I ran to first base 3 times and I caught 1 ball in the outfield. Why do I feel like I've done 2 hours of full body workout?
I feel like the people on listening to this podcast don't know, but Ally's a baller. Like, she was a great basketball player. Did you guys win a state championship too?
We didn't win state. We made it to state once or twice in basketball, though. Yeah.
Yeah. She's an athlete, so don't be
Yeah.
acting like she was scared of that ball. She was like, come here,
Well,
baby.
I was really nervous because I had played in a game 2 years ago, and my husband Charlie had just told me, like, he played in the game weeks before that. He was like, the balls are going to come to you in the outfield, and they're going to look like they're landing short, but they're going to go further than you think. And sure enough, a ball just sails over my head. So I felt like I had to redeem myself. But you asked the question about how I can kind of balance as well. And I think for me, the important thing is, like, I've always told you this, Emma, and you have a very similar view, but, like, I've never viewed golf as who I am. It's just kind of what I do. So the time that I get to spend with, whether it's my family, my church family, my fellowship people, friends on tour, my husband, whatever it might be, like, there's a very, good disconnect to those. Like, certainly golf comes in the conversation, but, I really just try to, immerse myself in things that I'll enjoy that don't really, they provide a different value than golf provides. And, golf has certainly been a huge part of my life, but it's not my whole life. And that's, I think that's been, just good for me. And, marriage has made traveling a lot harder. So anytime I get to, do things and go places and, make fun memories with my husband, that's a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Speaking of your husband played golf at Vanderbilt, and now he is at Mississippi State, and he's the head women's golf coach there. And he has really elevated that program. They won the SEC championship last year. They also individually, they had the player that won the SEC, and then obviously performed so well in the national championship. And you are the volunteer assistant coach for Mississippi State. So that's just another thing to add on to your balance of life. Do you feel like you're playing against the girls? Like, when you go to practice, are you, like, practicing with them? Are you helping them? How has that relationship gone? And, like, what is your role as the volunteer assistant coach? And also, just for the fans, there's also a tournament named after Ally, just so you know. It's called the Ally. Yeah.
Well, Emma's dropping all the stuff today. Yeah, it's good. I'd probably say I take on, like, different roles. Like, I take, a thing that I really enjoy is, like, being the coach's wife. Like, when they come over to our house, I want them to feel welcome, and I want to have cool meals. And, we have pizza night occasionally, and they all come in and make their own meals. So I really, as this professional golfer that I hope I can provide value to them in their growth on the golf course, but also, I think it's just important for them to have, a female in their life. They have a great assistant coach, but to have a female in their life that they can, just talk about life with. I wouldn't say I'm around enough for them to quite, maybe feel comfortable with some of that stuff yet, but just providing value for them, whether it's on the golf course, off the golf course. I'll occasionally, jump in some rounds with them, whether it's qualifying or just, playing a match. Occasionally a couple of girls will ask, for my input on, shots or, whatever it might be, mental, just different things kind of pop up. But, I'm not around enough to take enough credit for the success that they have had. But it's been a lot of fun to see Charlie, really, really come into his own as a coach, and to see them succeed. He has a lot of fun, and I respect so much for what he's doing at, my alma mater, a place that I truly loved before he even became the coach there. So, it's really cool to kind of step back and be in a different position. But I'm all Mississippi State, and it's so fun to see my husband succeed there as well.
It's so fun. He is now a Hell State boy.
That's
okay, so
right.
my sponsors at Serve Pro have come in a big way on this podcast.
Yes, they really have. Because in golf, when bad shots happen, there's the mulligan ball. Now, when fire, water, or damage happens, what is there, Emma? You know better than anybody.
There's Serve Pro! Thankfully, they know how to make it like it never even happened. I know I have plenty of mulligans in my life that I would take. So this is our question to you, Ally. If you had one mulligan in life or in golf, where would you be taking it?
In terms of life, I think there are always things that we wish that we would have, maybe done better or done different. But there's like a shot that I can think of at last year's Solheim. I don't think it would have changed necessarily the match or anything. I came to hole 18 against Caroline Headwall on singles, and I got in this bunker on hole 18, and there was like hardly no sand. And if I really needed to hole it, honestly. Like, that was really I knew she was probably going to two-putt for birdie, so I needed to hole it. And if there was anything that I would do different, I look back on that shot and I was like, I wish I would have played a different type of shot than the shot that I played. But again, I mean, that's a very specific situation, and needing to make it, you know, I don't come
What kind of
down
shot would you have hit?
Well, I opened the face and there's no sand, so the ball, it was going to bounce into it, and I just tried to clip it perfect, and I probably would have come with a square face and just tried to splash it out. And just let it trickle down the hill and, you know, hopefully go in. But it's like you said, we always have things in life that we wish we could do better, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome. I might have just, you know, executed a better shot.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's life and all that.
It is.
Yes. Talking about struggles, you are a type 1 diabetic, and you found out while you were playing as a professional golfer. What would you say to kids who are dealing with something, whether it be diabetes or something else? How do you deal with playing professional golf and managing type 1 diabetes?
Yeah, it's a good question because it's hard. You know, I've never shied away from talking about type 1. I don't feel like it's a disease that you can perfect. But it is something that I do wish I could talk, you know, more about, because it is hard. I would never change anything about my life, because I do believe that God, you know, puts everything in your life for a reason. And if that reason was for more people with type 1 diabetes to have, you know, someone that they could see and aspire to be, you know, that's great. But I just think for anyone that has any sort of, you know, deficit or struggle or something to overcome, there is a reason that it's there, and we're strong enough to get through it no matter what. Me as a believer, I would always encourage people to lean on God for that, because it's not for me that, you know, I'm able to get through type 1 on a regular basis. Luckily, people who are much smarter than me have made technology that makes my life a lot easier. You know, and it is, you know, the strength and everything that I persevere through my relationship with Christ. So, you know, I say all that to say, you know, type 1, there are days that really, really suck, and I can be fully transparent with that. Emma's been around me and fully freaks out whenever she hears my glucose alarm goes off.
I'm like, call me.
What do I do?
I know, yeah, exactly. But it's kind of, you know, like I said, it's not something I can perfect. There are days where I do really, you know, hate being a type 1, but at the same time, you know, I do my best to manage it and just take things as they come and try to, you know, balance it and tackle it every day. Every day's a little different, and, you know, that's just okay. That's just how it is.
Every week we do a little Instagram deep dive. So we go on Instagram and see if we can dig up anything of you guys. And I found this photo. I want to say it might be your first time at Evian. Is that the case?
Yep. 100%. So
yeah, talk me through it.
I can go ahead and tell you. So Symetra, the year that I played, now the Epson Tour, there was a specific tournament that they allowed the top 2 finishers to come play. So that was in 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
So I got to come over as a pro from the Symetra, now Epson Tour, and play my very first Evian.
Wow. How much in your
Yeah.
life has changed since then?
A lot. I had a family friend that caddied for me. Both of my parents. I'm married. I have a lot more gray hair.
A lot more stress.
Your bank account looks good too.
Well, there's that. Probably added a few pounds. We could go on and on. It just depends on how many things you want to know has changed. But yeah, it's. I've learned a lot. I think the growth that I've had from golf. The really cool thing was I remember making the cut, and
that's awesome.
I think I finished, you know, top 30 or something like that. So it was a really cool major experience for me, especially. I think I was in a decent position to to qualify in the top 10 to get my LPGA Tour card. So it was a nice little, cherry on top to be able to come over here and play in my first Evian.
Oh, that's awesome. And here you are now, 2024.
Here we are.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So last question for me, but it is a traveling circus out here. We all know this. There's a lot that goes on, but I want to know your funniest tour story.
I was having a really hard time with this one. Emma might have a funnier
Tour
story
life
than I
is
do.
not funny.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Maybe I
Hope.
can maybe I can laugh about it in like 10 to 15 years. I do have a funny golf story though.
Okay, let's do that.
I think one of the best golf stories. It was not funny at the time, like I said.
Right.
This is something I can look back on and it's
laugh
funny.
now.
But I was playing high school golf and I played with all boys, so it was just like, who knows if I was going to get hit on or if I was going to get, no one would want to talk to me or people hated that I played. You never knew. So I played in a state championship in Tupelo, and, I was the only girl in the entire field, however many that would have been. And I hit this bunker shot, and I'm waiting for the ball to come down. And it comes down and it hits the bill of my hat and bounces out of the bunker. And so we call a rules official over. Who knows? I'm like 13, and I'm like, I don't remember reading this in the rules book. So so he comes over and he's like, you're going to be enforced a penalty. And the good news is if it would have not hit the bill of your hat, it would have probably ended up in your footprint. So you might be glad that it hit the bill of your hat. And I'm like, yeah, that's funny. So I get finished. And I sign my scorecard, and there's like people are just chattering. They're like, "Did you hear about the girl whose ball hit her in the head?" And I'm like, "I'm the only girl here, people. Like, this is me. You can stop talking about me now." So that's my funny story. Yeah,
That's pretty good. That's a classic
funny.
because I don't think many people can say they hit a shot and then it hit them.
No.
Pretty good.
yeah, really cool.
Hopefully they all know that you made it pro and that you're not making those shots anymore.
Yeah.
Let's
Screw the
hope
boys.
not. Let's hope that doesn't. Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, Ally, thank you so much for joining us. This was so much fun. And best of luck this week. It's gonna be a great week here at the Amundi Evian Championship.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck. Have fun, Allie.
Yes, good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Love ya.
See y'all.
Bye.
All right, so thank you to Ally for joining us. She is obviously going to be playing this week, and I just want to really dive into what she has been doing lately because it's been crazy. So I think this is the perfect time to pull up our KPMG Performance Insights. And come on now, we got our stats guy. Take it away, Adam. What has she been doing lately?
Well, you know what they say, the big-time players make big-time plays, and for this week's KPMG Performance Insights, we're talking about Ally Ewing, and we're talking about her performance at the major championships over the last couple weeks. So, over the last two majors, Ally is tied for first in strokes gained total and is second in strokes gained tee to green, plus is eighth in strokes gained approach. So again, tied for first in strokes gained total at the last two major championships. So when you think about big venues, highly competitive fields, tests that demand absolutely everything out of your game, and Ally is tied for first in that strokes gained total category and second strokes gained tee to green. So can she break through for her first major championship victory this week in France? Time will tell. But the numbers, the KPMG Performance Insights, show that over the last two majors, Ally is dialed in.
Boom.
Mic drop. Great job, Adam. Woo, woo.
That is the definition of dialed in. I would not be surprised if we see a little major win from Miss Ally Ewing this week. But I want to just kind of go over what has happened this season because it has been kind of crazy. I always kind of think of Evian, the Amundi Evian Championship, as a turning point because it's the beginning of the European swing. We've had three majors. A lot has been going on. So, like I said, three major champions. The fourth one is going to be crowned. There's going to be one more major championship after this. The Olympics field is getting finalized. Countries are still finalizing their players, but that is pretty much locked in. And now the Solheim Cup teams are loading. So Nelly Korda and Lilia Vu have been locked in for Team USA. I'm doing that
Loading.
with my hand a lot. Loading. But yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy part of the season because it's so busy. I feel like everyone is super tired. But here we are in this beautiful place, Evian, right nestled in between the Alps and Lake Geneva. It's absolutely gorgeous here. And Emma, you have played in this tournament many of times. So can you just tell us what it's all about? Because it's honestly a week like none other. You really can't compare it to any other week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this was a major that we have 5 majors instead of 4 on the LPGA Tour. We always play this event at the same golf course every year. And I think the first problem is everyone's just jet lagged. And actually, for some reason, a lot of people lose their clubs going to the tournament, which is crazy. I've never been one of those people, but I remember last year so many people lost their clubs and you're jet lagged and you're tired and you're like, eh. But then you walk down into the town of Evian, and it's like this amazing place with beautiful views, and people are going on the ferry over to Switzerland. It's just like this amazing place, and the golf course is hard. It's very hilly. You definitely have to hit the fairways and approach games. So knowing that it's a shot maker's course, I thought it was really cool that we had Ally on because I do think she's going to contend once again over there. But yeah, Evian's just a great place. Everyone gets gelato every night, and all the gifts they give you are amazing. So it's just a great week. It's a great tournament, and yeah, I'm excited to see what happens this week.
Yeah. If I were to put 2 words to it, I would say pink and bougie.
Yes.
Maybe 3. Champagne.
Amen.
Because there's a lot of champagne at this tournament.
And
I
a
hope
lot of
there's a lot of water.
fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot. That's true. Wait, yeah. Water has to be one of those words. It's literally where Evian comes from.
Water, bougie, pink, and fireworks at midnight. They love to do fireworks at midnight at this
when
tournament.
everyone's trying to sleep. But I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I'm not complaining.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I will
10 out of 10.
say I will say that this is going to be an interesting week because, like Hope said, it usually is the beginning of our European swing, but because of the Olympics, our schedule kind of got messed up. So they're going all the way to France, then they're coming all the way back to play Toledo, Canada, Portland, and then they're going back to Europe. So it's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Canada boy.
I know. I was going to say, speaking of Canada, we're going to, in a minute, we are going to go into everything that happened last year, which was absolutely amazing. But before that, I want to talk about Brooke Henderson, your girl, Adam, your Canadian, fellow Canadian. She always plays well at this tournament. She's won it before. So kind of just talk on what she does here and why you think she plays it so freaking well.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think like you just have to look at the body of work from the last 2 years. To your point, she won it with a final hole birdie in 2022. Now, no one was going to beat Celine Boutier last year.
No.
She still ended up losing by 4, but finished runner up there. And I think it's kind of to Emma's point about comfort and playing the major championship at the same venue year after year after year. Like Brooks in her mid-20s, but this is her 10th year as a professional golfer. So if you kind of go back to the same place every single year, and you've had the most success that you can have, like you've won the championship at this point in her career, like anytime she tells me, it's just one of these things where like she's the most comfortable, and she's big, like she's a big nature person as well, and just
That's
like
true.
the Earth's natural beauty, and it's not as nice anywhere else on the LPGA Tour schedule as it is in Evian in France there. So yeah, I mean the combination of her being able to take advantage of her skill set, which is kind of tee to green, a lot of just baked in good vibes only, and then obviously a lot of just off course just beauty and excitement, and her being able to kind of compartmentalize golf and life at that kind of place, especially at a busy time of the year. It all kind of adds up to her playing extremely well at this particular major championship.
You want to know a little insight that you may not know, Adam?
Hit me.
She eats crepes every night for dinner. Last year, I swear I saw her at the crepe place every single night. Her and Brittany, every night.
She's hiding.
She has her
then,
place.
We ask her. We're like, because she admitted that she loves the crepes, but she kind of was like, oh, I go out for crepes. Did not know that it was every night.
It's every night. I see her and Brittany there every night.
I love that. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
I was going to say the
exactly.
same thing.
Were
No
you
one's
about to
going to
say
knock
that?
you. I was. No one's going to knock you for having crepes every night if you won the tournament and then finished
Yeah.
second back-to-back
Exactly.
years.
And
Maybe
she
more
might
people
have,
should be
like-
having crepes.
Yeah, and she might have like a little superstition. I don't know if she's a superstitious person, but I feel like she might be. So
Yeah.
she probably is like, well, it's worked in the past. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Let's roll. Yeah. No
I
pun
feel
intended.
like her, yeah, literally. I feel like her and Britt are like creatures of habit because I know from Brittany, her caddy, and her sister, as most people probably know, her husband, Zach Sapanik, used to work for the LPGA Tour. He was like, I'm eating Cracker Barrel every night, man. Like, we're always eating Cracker Barrel, which I love me some Cracker Barrel, so there's no judgment there. I would eat it every night if I could as well. But yeah, so I think that's definitely someone to keep an eye on. But somebody else to keep an eye on is Celine Boutier. She is in her home country. And this is kind of a teaser for the Olympics because we never play in France other, than the Amundi Evian Championship. The Olympics is in Paris, and last year she absolutely ran away with it. No one was even in the back of her mind. Like, she was like, I'm good. I just gotta play all right and I can win this thing. And she did. That's exactly what she did. She played amazing the final day, and she is the first French player to win this as a major. So pretty freaking cool.
4 rounds in the 60s. Sorry, I said she won by 4. She actually won by 6. So my apologies, Celine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
6,
what,
not 4.
What an
Come
effort.
on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is absolutely someone to keep an eye on. But we didn't do something, and we need to do it now. It's our Slays of the Week. Emma, you start.
I don't even know my slay of the week.
You're just too slay. You have too many.
Okay. Let me just say I'm in the middle of the last part of Bridgerton. So that's my slay because everybody loves the Bridgerton. It's
I love
wacko.
Bridgerton.
And I know that most of the LPGA girls know exactly what I'm talking about because all of us just binge watch Bridgerton. So I guess that's my slay. That's a pretty pitiful slay, but there you go.
Oh, that's a great slay. Adam,
What's
your slay?
yours?
Well, if you go to my Instagram, and we kind of teased it earlier, but big shout out to my friends at Destination Cape Breton. They had me out on Cape Breton Island. I got to play more rounds of golf last week than I did basically in the whole of like 2023. I ate some incredible food. I got up to Cabot, Cape Breton. Obviously, Cabot's being an incredible kind of world taking over golf resort destination kind of situation. They've got Europe spots. They got Florida. They got Canada on the East Coast. They've got one that they're building in a mountain in Revelstoke on the West Coast of Canada. So, I got to play a couple rounds at Cabot. Got to play a couple rounds at some other golf clubs that they've got on the island, and just everyone's so nice, and I had just an absolutely fabulous time. And our boy from the LPGA Tour, Matt Chamura, he was just at Cabot a couple weeks prior to me, so we were chatting a little bit about our trips as well, and they just knock it out of the park. Places at 10. If anyone hasn't been yet and they're thinking about it, they should go. But yeah, my boy Adam from Destination Cape Breton, thanks for everything. What a trip. What a sleigh.
Love that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's a great sleigh. I don't think I can beat that, but like I mentioned earlier, I was in New York City last week with my best friend. I've been to New York quite a bit now with work and just in general. It's like one of my favorite cities in the whole world, but she had never been. So we did the whole shebang, like saw all the sights. And I will say that's probably the last time I'm going to do all the sightseeing because I've just seen it all and it's amazing. But I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
So, but we, went to a Broadway show. We did all of that. And then I think another.
What did you
sleigh-
see?
Oh, I saw The Great Gatsby.
Oh, nice. What a
It was really good.
classic. Very
Yeah.
cool.
10 out of 10 recommend. It was honestly so good. We walked away and we were like, so how are they that good at everything they do? Like dance and sing and perform. It was really, really cool to see, but we had a great time. But I want to touch on another sleigh that has nothing to do with me, and that is who won the Dow Championship. We have to quickly just touch on the fact that Ronnie Yin and Ataya Titakun won, and they're just the cutest little friends. I just love watching them. So I think that was a very big sleigh. But speaking of that, I think we can go into our quick 9 now. Emma, do you want to start?
No, I don't want to start, but I will.
Too bad.
Okay, so my first one is just the fact that like all my friends on the LPGA Tour and acquaintances, whatever, had like the
Shade.
best time this off week because a lot of the girls from Europe all went home. So like I know a lot of girls went home to see their families in Germany or Switzerland or Sweden or wherever they're from. That's where they went. I know Frida went home. I know Esther Hensleit went home. So many girls got to go home and see their families. So they're all rested. They're not jet lagged. And then a lot of girls went to Wimbledon, which was so cool. Charlie Hull, Marina Alex, Emily Pedersen, Rose Zhang, like so many, Anna Norquist, like I could go on and on and on. That's a dream of mine. I think it's so cool that all of them got to go and witness it. I even know a couple of caddies that went to Wimbledon. So like such a cool event. I don't know about you guys, but that's definitely high on my bucket list. So that's going to take up a lot of my quick 9. But I just have to keep going with my girl, Ally. I just think Ally's playing so well right now. I think she's just got this fire under her belt that I don't know where it's coming from necessarily. It sounds like she doesn't really either. But I know she just has fun out there and she just has a good perspective on life. So Ally's my other girl. And last but not least, that's it. I only got 2 this week. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm going to go with Leona Maguire. Leona Maguire just won the Ramco Series event in London. And she's been playing some great golf. She's a great, it's coming up to Solheim Cup. So she always peaks at Solheim Cup. I feel like that's another player to watch.
Favorite time of the year.
So for my quick 9, I think you hope you mentioned her already, but we can't ignore Ataya right now. Obviously, different kind of scene, of course. Playing in a team event and then coming across the pond, playing a major championship. But you look at kind of her body of work on the year that's been. She's 4th on tour in greens and regulation, and I think she's something like 5th or 6th in scoring average. So if you can just kind of put everything together, especially at a major championship like this, and now kind of breaking through for a win after a couple years in a winless drought, and kind of doing it alongside such a good friend, and just kind of knowing that you can kind of break through and do things. Again, do things like what you were doing when you initially broke through. I think that's just got to be great for her confidence and the mental approach to things, especially with 2 more majors left for the balance of the year. So Ataya, again, shout out to her for this week. One kind of off-course thing. We talked about the crepes, we talked about the food, we talked about Wimbledon, strawberries, cream, etc. I am fired up to see like the croissant and the coffee Instagram posts from everyone on the LPGA Tour, including you, Hope. Hopefully you managed to get yourself into
pictures. Don't worry,
you find yourself in some foodie destination. So I'm excited for that. And then I got a feeling, I got a Lydia Ko feeling this week. I got a Lydia Ko feeling.
I want it.
That gives me chills. Everyone roots for Lydia.
She's won, obviously, this major before. Again, she took to Instagram just before the week. She said something about her heart being full or what makes her happy, and it was like her husband and like her dog and just like her Like, I think Lydia's rock and rolling. I think Lydia, if she got that Hall of Fame point, if she won again, broke through, has obviously had a bit of a up and down season, of course, but I got a Lydia Ko feeling this week, and we're gonna see if it unfolds.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. That would be so amazing. I just want to be here for it. I want to be here. I want to mention about Ataya. She actually told like the media team at Dow, she was like, guys, like people can spray me with champagne now. I'm 21. So it's just so crazy that she's just now 21. Like
priorities.
Yeah, literally. She's like, don't forget, like I'm legal.
bring it on. Let's go.
Seriously.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so plenty of champagne here this week. So if she does it, she's got the champagne. She's got it covered. But anyways, okay, so my quick 9, quick 3, whatever you want to call it. I actually want to start with Lilia Vu. She was out most of the season, and then she came back. Her first event, she won, casual, and then she played so well at KPMG Women's PGA Championship. So nice little top 5 finish, no big deal. So I think she's definitely someone to keep an eye on. And then I also want to talk about Lauren Hartledge. She is another one that had a top 5 finish, fellow Kentucky girl, Emma. And she's just so sweet too. Like, I love to see finishes like that from players when it's life changing when you get a finish like that at a huge major at the LPGA Tour, financially and just in your career
Well, it keeps her
in
card.
general. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
her card is kept for next year, which is pretty remarkable. And she has fought for her card a couple of times. So you're right. It is life changing. It's career changing.
Yeah, so definitely want to give her a shout out. And then last but not least, we got to talk about Minjee Lee. I mean, she's won this tournament before. I feel like she's just so chill, and she's been playing well this year. I mean, she's had a top 5 finish. She's had a couple top 10 finishes. I don't think it's probably up to her standards, which is crazy to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out this week, absolutely crushes it, and walks away with the win. So that is my pick, Minjee Lee. But
I was debating between a Lydia Ko feeling and a Minjee Lee feeling.
Yeah.
And the Lydia Ko feeling, it won out. So I'm glad you brought.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a Minjee Lee feeling. Though.
I do. It's deep. I'm like, I feel this happening. So, but yeah, I mean, you never know. We've talked about it so many times. The depth out here is incredible. You never know who is going to win. So guys, be sure to tune in. Be sure to watch the Amundi Evian Championship this week to find out who gets crowned, because it's going to be incredible. So tune in to Golf Channel and tune in to Peacock, and just follow along on LPGA socials and the website. You are not going to want to miss it.
Y'all come back now, you hear?